And, staying on the topic of where we're at right now with the OTAs, as we get closer and closer to that late June, mandatory minicamp, the absence of 26, the void, the elephant in the room, the elephant that's not in the room. Look, last week there was an article from somebody at NewJersey.com. I don't even know where it's at right now, who it was. But if you're in the Giants content creation business, and especially if your job is to either write stories or talk in front of a microphone, there's a chance come the offseason, come this portion, you don't have a lot to talk about. You got to make up stuff sometimes. And that's not what we do here, but you guys see it. You'll see a lot of people. All that Saquon story was that he allegedly had turned down, he's seeking $16 million. And at this point, you've had his agent, you've had his team come out, deny it. Was there a portion in their mind was there ever a point where they thought they were going to get 16? Were they looking at 16? Yeah, I believe that. We knew early on in negotiations going back to the bye week in 2022 that he wanted, similar money to McCaffrey. Didn't want to reset the market, but he wanted McCaffrey money. So the story comes out, that basically that to this day, Joe Schoen earlier this month after the post-draft has picked up contract talks again. And what we know as of right now, on May 22nd, May 23rd, there's a stalemate. They're still far apart. And it seemed like the Giants were going to come to that number where they were going to go, and that's also in the story, which is true. The Giants were going to go up as high as, with incentives, will get you to 14, which would have been not way more, but more than what I thought the Giants were going to come in at. I thought maybe 13 with incentives. Where that number is at today, nobody knows. And I mean nobody. Not some asshole on Twitter. Not somebody that wants to be on WFAN from their bedroom and YouTube. Nobody knows this right now. Myself included. I don't know where that number is. You don't know where that number is. We're not in the room. And it's very, very tight-lipped. What I don't want to see is these two sides start, as we get closer to that June number. Trust me, I've talked about this over and over and over again. But as you get closer to mandatory time, this is all voluntary right now. It sucks because it allows a story to fester up and be printed out. The absence of Saquon just allows for there to be, bullshit. But the closer we get to June, that mandatory camp, you're gonna start seeing things heat up, and hopefully we don't start getting these two sides leaking things out there, dripping things out there, and getting nasty, because that's not where we want to see this go right now. I'm still one of the people that believes that Saquon does not play on just the tag. I just don't believe it. I think with as highly as he's viewed upon this organization, going from Mara to just, 2 weeks ago, we're hearing Joe Schoen say, I love this guy. We already know what he means to Daniel Jones and his teammates. I just don't see them not trying to do everything that they can to take care of him and get this behind them. Now, the problem is who's the bad guy, who's the good guy in this? That's going to be up for the fans to decide. We had the Dexter Lawrence extension, which was fantastic news. Then the Giants pick up the 5th-year option on Thomas, best tackle in the game. And that also allows the Giants to be able to come into this contract negotiation that's still ongoing with Saquon and say, hey, look, we're not in a position right now for you to bend us over a barrel. We've had a number firm. We've given you more than what the market has showed you what you're going to get. We're paying $2 or $3 million over the tag. We need some help here. And quite frankly, Saquon's in a position to help out the Giants, because if he signs an extension, if he signs a deal, they'll save $5-6 million on that tag this year alone. So you have both of these things coming together at once. Obviously, Saquon wants his money. Giants want him to get a deal done. They want him to have a deal. They want to get this done. but it's got to work for both sides. I know we're repeating that, things that we already know, but this goes back to what I've been saying all year. Joe Schoen has got to make sure that the line in the sand does not get crossed. As much as I love Saquon, I want to see this guy retire with multiple rings as a New York Giant. I mean, who doesn't? But again, who's going to be here longer? Joe Schoen's going to be here longer, barring an unforeseen disaster. He's going to be here, righting the ship. And you got to have what Julian Love and others have already learned. If the offer's on the table, here's where I'm at. I'm not going any further. So now we have an interesting, we're playing chicken here. And somebody's got to blink. Is Joe going to say, hey, you know what? Here was the offer on the table. I'm going to take it back. I've already announced that I've taken the offer off the table. Now it's back on. Am I going to give you even more than what I offered for you back in November? He's not. And as much as I love Saquon's got to be realistic here. Somebody's getting bad advice. Because what we know publicly, and we don't know everything. Again, we don't know what's going on in the room. But what we know publicly is we know where the Giants have made their number. So something has to give here. And we're a month away from mandatory stuff start happening. So it can create headlines right now and a lot of speculation and rumor. But come a month from now, it's a reality. And if Saquon Barkley is holding out, or if he's not signed long term and he hasn't signed the tender and he hasn't signed the tag, then all bets are off at that point. It's gonna be a fucking shitstorm of headlines and nonsense all summer long. And nobody wants that. But you guys know me. I am Mr. Glass Half Full. I still believe that these two sides get things done, and for a contract that's going to benefit both sides. Because, my God, that schedule, we need Saquon on the field, and we need him ready for week 1. No games, no BS, no bullshit this time around.